For the time has come for the women of America to make a new declaration. 100 years after women won suffrage, we still live in a world where men hold the vast majority of power and women are consistently undervalued relative to them. Despite all women have done to fit in and all that well-intentioned men have done to help us along the way, we have only been able to rise so far in this man's world. It is no longer serving us well. We should not continue to prop it up by following its rules. It is time to declare our independence and proclaim the start of an exciting new era for women, an era in which we break from a world that does not value us enough and create a place where we are able to reach our full potential. I see millions of women in America waking up to the same realization. This man's world was never our destination. It was never ours. We have always been visitors here, and now we are moving on to create our own space. I want to be clear that this is not a declaration against men. I do not believe that men are my enemy, nor do I feel my life has been one long exercise in subordination to them. Like many women, I learned a lot observing how men work, had male mentors, and gained some invaluable skills as I attempted to model myself after them. Those skills I acquired served me well and will continue to help all of us going forward. But I believe we have gone as far as we can following a man's model. After decades of making so many strides, we reached a plateau. A man's path turned into our rut. Our dependence on the old male models and our belief that following their path would eventually work out for us has ended up sustaining the very power systems that keep women from succeeding. In the fall of 2017, I began work on a book called Dear Madam President, an open letter to the women who will run the world. Less than a year after my former boss, Hillary Clinton, lost her historic bid to become the first woman president, writing a letter of advice to the future first woman president and insisting that women will run the world could seem to sound like a bold move, but not to me. Because at my core, I believed in my own ability and in the ability, strength, and sheer willpower of women in America. And so did millions of other women. Just look at everything women in America have accomplished in the last 2 years. We turned out by the millions as part of women's marches. In both 2017 and 2018, women ran for elected office in historic numbers and won by historic numbers too. Today in America, there are more women starting their own businesses than ever before. Women accounted for 40% of business owners in 2018. In 2019, America saw not one, but 6 women stand on the national debate stage to compete to become the next president of the United States. And starting in the fall of 2017, women who had been sexually assaulted and harassed by men stood up and demanded that they be held accountable as part of the Me Too movement. It was a watershed moment for efforts to even out the power dynamic between men and women in the workplace. I see the 2017 Women's March as the turning point. It is when I first saw women break away from the world we had known. The march was held the day after President Trump's inaugural, and just a couple of months after we had lost the 2016 presidential election. My normal reaction to losing a political campaign is to leap up and start fighting again as soon as possible. I thought that this was my duty, that if I did not pick up the fight, no one else would. Like a lot of women, I had spent my career with an outsized sense of what was my responsibility. I thought if I did not dive for every ball, no one else would be there to catch it. And if I let any ball drop, I would not be let back into the game. But the 2016 defeat took more out of me than the average campaign loss. It made me question a lot of the assumptions I had made about my place in the world, including whether my effort mattered at all.